violent Korean animation that focuses on good influence. Through adventure and friendship, learn valuable lessons and realize the importance of friends. Covering topics such as family, friends, and courage, they help children learn how to interact with the world. Embark on imaginative adventures with new friends and dream together. K Animation's special stories will warm your heart.
It's December 11th here in Seoul, and I'm Kim Dami. We begin with these stories making the headlines at this hour, starting with the fallout from the martial law declaration. Former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun has been officially arrested on charges of assisting President Yoon Suk-yeol stage an insurrection through last week's abrupt martial law order. Also arrested were the National Police Chief and the head of Seoul's police agency. And the opposition camp continues to demand that President Yoon must be impeached, pushing for a second impeachment motion against him on Wednesday. South Korean novelist Kang wrote a new chapter in literature as the first Korean and the first Asian woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. The Nobel Foundation praised Han as a writer who deeply explores human frailty against the backdrop of historical trauma in her pieces. We begin with the martial law saga. The ex-defense chief, who is believed to have engaged in key activities for the insurrection, has now been formally arrested. Our Lee Seung-jae starts us off.
The Seoul Central District Court on Tuesday issued an arrest warrant for former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun on insurrection charges over his role in last week's short-lived emergency martial law declaration by President Yoon Suk-yeol. The court issued the warrant at the request of the prosecution, which accuses the ex-defense chief of engaging in key activities while the martial law order was in place. While Kim did not appear at a court hearing earlier on Tuesday to review whether or not to issue the warrant, prosecutors have questioned the former defense minister 3 times since he was taken into custody on Sunday. He voluntarily appeared for the investigation. The court also ruled that the prosecution has a right to investigate insurrection and treason charges being faced by senior members of the police. It cited the Prosecutor's Office Act, which allows the prosecution to investigate crimes committed by police officers, regardless of the charges. Usually, the police have jurisdiction over insurrection and treason cases. This means that the prosecution will be allowed to investigate the National Police Commissioner and the Seoul Police Chief, who were both arrested early Wednesday. Korean National Police Agency Commissioner General Jo Ji-ho and the head of the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency Kim Bong-sik were arrested without a warrant on insurrection charges. Police now have 48 hours to detain and question the 2 suspects under emergency arrest provisions. The 2 police officials are suspected of instructing police officers to block the National Assembly to prevent lawmakers from entering the parliament to lift the martial law declaration. Jo is also suspected of sending police officers to the National Election Commission to assist the military. The arrest of high-ranking members of the police is unprecedented, putting more pressure on the investigation. But there are also concerns that the arrest of the two officials could create a security vacuum. Last week's emergency martial law declaration may have been short-lived, but a large number of officials from the government may also face serious charges. The police special investigation team probing the martial law incident summoned 11 people for questioning, including Prime Minister Han Duck-soo and other cabinet members. This for their alleged role in failing to prevent the martial law incident despite attending an emergency cabinet meeting prior to Yoon's declaration. 이승재, Arirang News.
And during Tuesday's late Parliamentary Defense Committee meeting, military officers related to the martial law declaration testified, with some shocking details revealed. Our Kim Bo-kyung tells us more.
Commanders and military leaders have begun to testify during investigations into President Yoon's botched martial law order. Lieutenant General Kwak, the suspended chief of the Army Special Warfare Command, said he was instructed to drag lawmakers out of the National Assembly while the order was in place. The comments were made during a Parliamentary Defense Committee meeting that was held until late Tuesday night.
The president called me directly on a secure phone. He told me the quorum doesn't appear to have been met yet. Break down the doors fast. Go in and drag out people inside.
Though he received the order from Yoon, commanders on the ground resisted, and Kwak also figured the resistance was the correct action. He also believed it was not right for troops to go in because of the chance of future criminal action and due to concerns of injuries if they forced their way in. Kwak said he ordered troops not to go any further before informing the ex-defense minister Kim Yong-hyun of his decision. Kwak also revealed that he had knowledge of some details of the martial law plan 2 days ahead of Yoon's declaration on December 3rd. He said he received orders from then Defense Minister Kim over a secure landline to secure 6 locations.
I was given the mission to secure 6 locations: the National Assembly, the National Election Commission, the Democratic Party headquarters, and Flower Research, an opinion polling company, on around December 1st.
After the order, Kwak says he only thought about what he would do if something actually happened and did not tell the subordinate brigade commanders as they could get into trouble. He only told them on the day they were actually being deployed. Meanwhile, there was also testimony from inside the Defense Counterintelligence Command. Brigadier General Kim Dae-woo, chief of the Defense Counterintelligence Command's investigation unit, said Commander Yoon In-hyung ordered him to check if a key military bunker had space to detain people inside. The B-1 bunker, which is under the jurisdiction of the Army's Capital Defense Command, serves as the de facto wartime command center for Korea's military. Kim Bo-kyung, Arirang News.
And the opposition's push to impeach President Yoon remains in full swing, with the Democratic Party proposing yet another impeachment motion today, with the goal of holding a brand new vote this Saturday. Our correspondent Shin-Young reports.
The extraordinary session of the National Assembly began on Wednesday with the main opposition Democratic Party set to submit a second motion to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol. This comes after the Assembly failed to pass the previous impeachment motion due to a lack of votes, as most of the ruling Conservative Party lawmakers refused to vote on it. The new motion accuses President Yoon of violating constitutional order with his December 3rd declaration of martial law. The DP plans to report the motion to the Parliament during Thursday's plenary session and aims to hold a vote on Saturday. Under the National Assembly Act, the motion must be reported in the first plenary session after its proposal, and the vote must take place between 24 and 72 hours after that. The Parliament will also conduct an emergency inquiry into the case of the declaration of martial law during Wednesday's plenary session. The opposition has called for key officials, including Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, Finance Minister Choi Sang-mok, Justice Minister Park Sung-jae, and others to attend. It plans to question these officials about the details of the cabinet meeting that approved the martial law decree, as well as the deployment of troops to the National Assembly and Election Commission. Meanwhile, the ruling People Power Party discussed ways to stabilize the political situation on Tuesday, but no decisions were made. The party generally agreed on a plan that would involve the resignation of the president and early election, which they see as a quicker solution with a more definite timeline than impeachment. The head of the PPP's newly established task force on political stabilization told reporters that immediate resignation would trigger a presidential election within 60 days, leaving little time for parties to nominate candidates. The party plans to finalize and announce the roadmap before the second impeachment vote on Saturday, but there are concerns that internal disagreements could make this difficult. The election for the next floor leader of the PPP will be a two-way race. Five-term lawmaker Kwon Song-dong and four-term lawmaker Kim Tae-ho have registered as candidates for the position. The party is set to hold the election on Thursday, but the election method hasn't been decided yet. 신하영, Arirang News.
Now, President Yoon's political future hangs in the balance with investigations into what happened on the night of the martial law order now narrowing down to the South Korean leader. We discussed this more with attorney An Jung-sung this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Morning.
I'd like to start with the key suspect here. An arrest warrant was issued for former defense chief Kim Yong-hyun shortly after he forewent an arrest warrant. Now, does it mean he's pleading guilty?
Well, just means that he was voluntarily giving up his legal right to defend himself at the hearing. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he's pleading guilty with the crime charge. So in this respect, we have to wait and see what kind of statements and evidence to come out of his criminal trial.
Well, that no longer matters with the court having issued an arrest warrant for Kim late last night, leading to speculation that maybe President Yoon Suk-yeol be summoned or even arrested sooner or later. Let's talk about that possibility.
Well, there's a fair possibility that criminal investigation can be initiated against President Yoon. Under the South Korean Constitution, President has qualified immunity against the criminal prosecution. But under Article 84 of the Constitution, there are two cases, a specific crime that can be charged against the president at office. So, and obviously, insurrection is one of them. So, legally speaking, president can be charged with the crime of insurrection while his office if the prosecution has built sufficient evidence to prove his criminal act.
So we need more evidence to even arrest President Yoon Suk-yeol for now. But one thing is investigating President Yoon, but at the same time, there are also concerns about over a possible vacancy in presidential leadership if the worst-case scenario does happen for President Yoon. What happens next then?
Well, yeah, actually, in U.S. and Korea different system. In the United States, there's a designated successor. Basically, sometimes something happens to president, the vice president become president.
Right.
But in Korea, it's different from the U.S. It's more like you act as an acting person. So what I found was that in the case of the vacancy or permanent vacancy at the presidential office, and the prime minister will work as the acting president for up to 60 days. And if it is a permanent vacancy, there under the South Korean Constitution, there have to be election for the president within 60 days, and the new president have to take over within 60-day window. And if the prime minister somehow is not available to perform his duty as acting president, and the deputy prime minister will take over his position as the acting prime minister and acting president. Right.
Then does it mean after 60 days we'll have a snap presidential election?
Yeah. Well, under South Korean Constitution, you have a 6-day window to get the new president to swear in, and then you have to be within 60 days have to take over the position. Right.
Then Prime Minister Han Duck-soo will be next in line if anything happens to President Yoon. But we haven't heard anything from President Yoon himself or the top office since he delivered a public apology last weekend. But apparently Yoon's legal team is reportedly looking to appoint a legal representative or even form a legal team. Is that the case?
Well, obviously, it seems that he's calling up the lawyers, the litigators, and through constitutional lawyers, right? So, well, I guess that according to the press, and also I think they have strategy. They prefer go for the impeachment procedure rather than the resignation. And well, resignation is more like you pleading guilty, right? So you don't want to get, declare yourself, you're the guilty person, right? So I think his strategy is that you want to go, fight for the truth, his truth from his perspective. So he want to see how the court, the constitutional court, decide on whatever did it, or the martial law on 123, right, happens, and he want to try to justify what he did at that, on that day. So we have to wait and see what kind of legal team he prepared. But it will have the about, I think there's 3 months period to finish up the constitutional court litigations.
Well, nonetheless, President Yoon is, in the meantime, barred from leaving the country, so he is put in place in Yongsan for now. But does he also have any limits on carrying out his duties as the president as of now?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, the traveling ban only means that he cannot go overseas, right? He can go travel any place within Korea. I mean, it's not like you staying in the house, you cannot get out of your house. It means that you cannot go overseas. And that doesn't necessarily mean that any limitation on exercise of his presidential power. So that's kind of still concerning many people, because that he can do many things, unexpected things, right? So you need to speed up the process to, really, take care about the person, right?
Sir, thanks so much for sharing your insight with us this morning. We appreciate it as always.
Right, thank you.
In the meantime, North Korean media outlets have for the first time reported on the recent political turmoil here in South Korea. A Korean Central News Agency reported on Wednesday that Yoon unhesitatingly wielded guns and knives against the people, wreaking havoc across South Korea. It gave details on how the martial law order was put in place and lifted, including how the martial troops were deployed. Now, the Nodongshinmun, which targets the general North Korean readership, also published the same article with a photo of a civic rally urging Yoon's impeachment in front of the National Assembly. Ahead of the second Trump administration, the U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives jointly prepared the National Defense Authorization Act for 2025, which includes a pledge to maintain the current level of U.S. troops stationed in South Korea. According to the U.S. Congress on Tuesday, the bill also calls on the U.S. Secretary of Defense to strengthen cooperation with Seoul, Tokyo, and other allies in the Indo-Pacific in order to enhance its advantage and its strategic competition with China. It also calls for continued extended deterrence for Seoul amid threats by North Korea, utilizing all U.S. military defense capabilities. Currently, some 28,500 U.S. Forces Korea troops are stationed here in the country. Employment growth here in South Korea rose in November, but it was sluggish overall as it remained uneven across sectors and also age groups. Data released by Statistics Korea on Wednesday showed that there were 28.82 million people in the employment last month. That's up 123,000 from the same period the previous year. The on-year job growth in November recovered to the 100,000 range after falling below this level in October. But overall employment has stagnated due to the slowdown in employment in the construction, manufacturing and retail, and also wholesale sectors. Now, by age, the job growth was mainly driven by those aged 60 and above, with nearly 300,000 more people of that age in jobs compared to last year. Now, over in Sweden, it was a historic night for Korea as author Kang became the first Korean to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. Our culture correspondent Song Yujin takes us through the highlights.
Dear Kang, on behalf of the Swedish Academy, it is my privilege to convey to you our warmest congratulations on the Nobel Prize in Literature 2024.
History was written at the Stockholm Concert Hall on Tuesday. The author, Kang, the first Korean and Asian female Nobel laureate in literature.
In Han's world, people are wounded, fragile, in some sense weak, and yet they possess just enough strength and just the right kind of strength to take another step or ask another question, request another document or interview another surviving witness.
After this 5-minute presentation speech, Han stepped forward to receive the Nobel Prize diploma and medal from Sweden's Carl Gustaf. Despite the crisp cold weather, many gathered outside the Stockholm concert hall to celebrate Han's historic win, South Korea's second Nobel Prize following former President Kim Dae-jung's Peace Prize in 2000.
We wanted to celebrate Kang, so we were very happy that she got the Nobel Prize. It's a great honor to come from the same country.
I'm the editor-in-chief of our school's newspaper, and we published a special edition immediately after Kang was named this year's Nobel Prize winner. I felt very proud and honored.
After the hour-long ceremony, the celebrations moved to Stockholm City Hall. About 1,300 distinguished guests, including the laureates and the Swedish royal family, attended the Nobel Prize banquet. At the end of the banquet, one laureate from each category delivered a speech of thanks. Kang gave her speech forth.
올해 노벨 문학상 수상자를 소개하게 되어 영광입니다.
In the darkest night, there is language that asks what we are made of, that insists on imagining into the first-person perspectives of the people and living beings that inhabit this planet. Language that connects us one another. Literature that deals in this language inevitably holds a kind of body heat. Just as inevitably, the work of reading and writing literature stands in opposition to all acts that destroy life. I would like to share the meaning of this award, which is for literature, with you.
So with just one day left in Nobel Week 2024, Kang is set to hold a press conference with the Korean media on Wednesday afternoon. She will then complete her Nobel Week journey by attending the Nobel Foundation's concluding reception on Thursday. 송유진, Arirang News, Stockholm.
Good morning, I'm Yoon Se-young, and this is The World Now. We begin in Israel, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Tuesday became the first sitting prime minister in his country's history to stand trial as a defendant in a criminal case. Netanyahu was indicted in November 2019 on charges that include receiving approximately $195,000 worth of lavish gifts from 40 businessmen in exchange for favorable tax legislation. He is also accused of negotiating with the publisher of a major daily newspaper to reduce the circulation of a rival publication in return for favorable media coverage. Netanyahu's lawyer Amit Haddad called the charges a politically biased witch hunt, while the PM described them as absurd. During his 4 hours on the stand, Netanyahu dismissed allegations that he indulged in a luxurious lifestyle through corruption and denied accusations of striking deals with specific media outlets. The prime minister is required to appear in court 3 times a week until the end of this month. A Sudanese military airstrike on a market in North Darfur on Monday killed more than 100 people and injured hundreds more, including women and children. The figures were disclosed on Tuesday by the pro-democracy legal advocacy group Emergency Lawyers Initiative. The Sudanese military has been targeting towns in northern Darfur as part of its efforts to wrest control of El Fasher, the last stronghold in the region, from the Rapid Support Forces. The 20-month-long conflict between the RSF and Sudan's government forces has resulted in tens of thousands of deaths and forced millions to flee their homes. Sudan now faces a severe famine crisis as the war shows no signs of ending. Both sides have been widely condemned for indiscriminately targeting civilians and intentionally bombing residential areas throughout the near two-year civil war. In California, a massive wildfire in Malibu Beach, Los Angeles County, has forced residents to evacuate. The blaze is endangering homes and has caused power outages and road closures in the coastal areas. According to California fire authorities, the fire began on Monday night near Canyon Road in Malibu Beach and has since spread to an area of more than 2,700 acres. The wildfire threatens over 8,100 structures, including luxurious beachfront homes, and has caused significant challenges for firefighters due to its intensity. Local authorities have issued mandatory evacuation orders for approximately 200 residents and advised an additional 6,000 residents to be prepared for immediate evacuation.
Today's morning commute was a tad more comfortable with warmer temperatures. Highs will also climb as high as yesterday, but starting tomorrow, readings will gradually go down again. Well, this morning started off cloudy for many of us, then it will rain and snow on the East Coast, with mountainous regions in Gangwon-do province forecast to receive up to 10 centimeters of snowfall with a preliminary snow advisory issued. Elsewhere on the East Coast will be rainy into tomorrow dawn, but today's wet weather should bring relief to the dry air in the east. Checking on today's highs now, Seoul tops out at 7 degrees under cloudy skies all day. Gwangju and Daegu get up to 9 degrees Celsius. The capital area is seeing high levels of ultrafine dust. Then Sejong City and Chungcheong-pukto province could also see dust levels rising in the morning. Western parts of Korea are forecast to see a mix of rain and snow this weekend, with bitterly cold temperatures for us in the capital area. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the international weather conditions.
That's all we have for this morning. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 10 a.m. Korea time. Thanks for watching.
Hi, Chef Ryan here. It's oyster season, so today we're gonna make both a fresh salad and a savory pancake using oysters.
K-drama, the charm of Korea that captivates the world. Love like a K-drama. A story of us where hope and despair coexist. Fun and refreshingly satisfying. K-dramas carry warmth and move people's hearts. Meet the fascinating stories of Korea through K-dramas.
We change today, inspiring daily life. We create tomorrow, inspired by innovation. Change today, create tomorrow. Lotte.
We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, December 11th, and welcome to News Generation. This is Cheska Dainhong, and I'll be substituting our lovely Song Yujin throughout the week. She'll be back with us starting next Monday. Now, in the studio this morning, we are joined by our lovely Kwon Ji-young.
Oh, lovely day. Lovely Wednesday.
So lovely to always have you. And Park Yoon.
Thank you for having me.
Always wonderful to have you. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. Now, it's Wednesday, so let us begin with the keyword news. Today's keyword is, drumroll, Squid Game 2 and Golden Globes. Now, on Monday, Seoul hosted the largest press day for Netflix's highly anticipated Squid Game 2, a star-studded event that drew global media attention and an array of high-profile celebrities. However, the excitement was tempered by national unrest as it came just 2 days after the mass demonstration calling for the impeachment of South Korea's president. Now, against this backdrop, director Hwang Dong-hyuk addressed the audience saying it feels like a destiny, emphasizing the show's timing. Now, he further revealed that season 2 would closely parallel today's turbulent world, delving deeper into the themes of quote conflict, division, upheavals and wars that are happening worldwide. Now, despite its rocky start, Squid Game 2 received thrilling news just yesterday, a Golden Globe nomination even before the release of the news, signaling high global expectations. The first season remains Netflix's most watched series of all time, with a staggering 330 million views and over 2.8 billion viewing hours, according to the streaming company. Now, we're only about 2 weeks away from the grand opening of Squid Game 2, and personally as a Korean, I hold such a proud achievement that the first series actually holds a record for its viewings, and adding to the fact that the second series, even before the release, has received nomination. But also the timing was a little bit unfortunate, so I'm just going to open it up to the panelists. Are you excited, and what were some of your thoughts when you heard about the news? Starting with
Yeah, I'm definitely excited, but I can really agree with what director Hwang Dong-hyuk said about the destiny of its release timing. But besides that, I really cannot wait to see Ki-hoon again, not me. Song Ki-hoon.
The character, yes.
The name of the lead role played by Lee Jung-jae, of course. Many of my friends actually call my name even more during season 1, showing that how much of a hit it was. They kept calling me Ki-hoon-young, Ki-hoon-young. Anyway, so season 2 is definitely, the lineup is star-studded even more than season 1. Yes. And I saw the list of the actors, and many of my favorite actors are actually, in the series, including Lee Jin-wook. He's one of my favorite actors. And there's also T.O.P., former member of Big Bang. Yep. And in terms of the series being nominated at the Golden Globe Awards before it was actually aired, it's speculated that only journalists affiliated with the award show were able to actually get a glimpse of advanced screening for the second season, and obviously they were very impressed, and hence the nomination. But I don't want to spoil the show, but usually when season 1 does so well, like season 2 usually don't live up to the expectations because people already have a huge high expectations. But I think the release date is just perfect because once everyone has a great night, crazy night on Christmas Day, next day you just want to stay home, relax, or watching Netflix and binge watching Squid Game 2. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to it.
I completely agree with you. I think the time is perfect, but I also agree that it is a double-edged sword when a series garners such high expectation. But I'm on the other side where it does live up to expectation and even amazes us even more. What did you think, Chien?
Well, indeed. Well, after reading the article, I immediately sent a DM to one of the actresses in season 1, actress Kim Joo-ryung. She was in the season 1, Squid Game season 1.
Fantastic performance.
I know, but she died, unfortunately, in the first one. But she's also my Instagram friend. That's why I sent a DM to her. Although she isn't in season 2 this time, she replies saying that she's just as excited and believes it's going to be incredible. She also mentioned season 2 has to do well, so people will revisit season 1, even though our Cheska didn't watch it yet. So everybody make sure to rewatch season 1 and refresh your memory. I'm especially curious about the new characters in this season 2 and surprises that will unfold. This time, actor Kang and Im Si-hwan is in the season 2. It's truly impressive for a show to be nominated for a Golden Globe before airing. And this reflects not just its global popularity, but also the high regard for its cultural front here in Korea. And seeing Kim Joo-ryung, the actress Kim Joo-ryung's enthusiasm has made me even more thrilled. So I can't wait to watch it on the 26th of December.
And I'm just as excited, but just to defend myself a little bit, and actually quite apt for today's newsfeed, is that the reason that Squid Game #1 did so well is that it was such a perfect social commentary in highlighting the darkness and the wars that was going on. So one of the reasons that it did so well is that it reflects a lot of the things that are happening, and I hope that this exciting newsfeed for our viewers help them get over the Hump Day Wednesday. Now, moving on to today's topic. Now, if you've been following us for the past couple of episodes, you will know that we've covered a variety of trends and items that target specifically the MZers, starting from the key rings, the yogurt ice creams, to very special hobbies. But today we bring you something quite unexpected. Watch the screen to find out.
The old adage is that it's better to be safe than sorry. But this wisdom may apply a little differently to today's young crowd. Insurance plans today have taken on a new meaning for millennials and Gen Z. From reading and hobbies to K-pop fan activities, these insurance plans are saying it's better to be special than sorry.
Now, Now, this was a fascinating revelation on my part as well, and I think I represent a pretty good segment of the younger population who are still trying to figure out what kind of insurance plans do I need and why do I need it for. So I'm just going to do a quick survey here in the studio, starting with you, Jian. What sort of insurance plans do you have and why?
Well, I think that everyone who is living in Korea should have at least one type of insurance if you've got to be safe. I have national health insurance, which is essential for covering medical needs, and it's kind of a basic requirement for citizens. It's a necessity, really, as it safeguards you against unexpected medical costs. And there's my mobile phone insurance. I thought that was kind of a unique insurance in Korea, but many countries, including the US, the UK, Germany, France, they do have this mobile phone insurance. With smartphones being so expensive these days, it's just practical to have coverage in case of accidental damage or loss. It gives me peace of mind sometimes. And lastly, I always take out the travel insurance whenever I go abroad. Traveling can be unpredictable, and having insurance means I'm covered if I fall ill, get injured, or face any unpredicted and unexpected circumstances, unexpected hiccups during my trip. It's kind of a small price to pay for a worry-free holiday.
I completely agree with you. And you've got all the practical ones. You've got the health, you've got the tech, and you've got the travel.
All together.
All together. What about you, Kyun? How well prepared are you?
I'm not as prepared as Juyeon with the whole package, but I do have a plan called indemnity plan, which is called 시손보험 in Korea. So it's a type of insurance policy that compensates for medical costs. So it's a common health insurance signed up by many adults here in Korea, as a reimbursement of up to like 70 to 90% is made on any money spent on hospital costs. So for example, if you end up needing to get a surgery after a medical checkup with the doctor's recommendation, along with the hospital bills all paid for, you'll get extra compensation on top of that. And because of this insurance, I feel much safer and less hesitant to receive any kind of treatment whenever I feel the need, because knowing that I will get reimbursed. And a great thing about this kind of insurance, especially here in Korea, is that you get payback within just a few working days. So all you need to do is just provide just a single document provided by the hospital with the signature of the doctor and just fax it to your insurance company, and within a few days you'll get paid back. So knowing that, having that assurance, it helps me to just, whenever I feel any problems in my body or health issues, I wouldn't, just push it back and just visit any kind of hospital I can, because it just makes it so much more accessible. And knowing that I will get paid back immediately, it just helps me kind of have more trust in this kind of insurance.
And money compensation is really important when it comes to insurance, right? Because a lot of the things that we need to do, especially when it comes to health, cost is sometimes a very big hurdle. But in addition to the traditional type of insurance plans that we've discussed, here in South Korea, there are some very interesting and unique insurance plans that kind of came to our limelight that cater to the different interests and lifestyle of young people. Now, could you share some with us, Chia?
Yeah, of course. Well, it's kind of fascinating to see how the insurance market is evolving, especially targeting younger generations like us. According to various insurance companies, these unique products are gaining popularity here in Korea. Take reading insurance, for example. This covers health issues related to poor reading posture or lifestyle habits, perfect for the recent Kang Nobel Prize, sparking a renewed interest in reading books. And then there is fan activity insurance. In Korean, we call this 경밍 out 상해보험. Well, this provides coverage for injuries at concerts or scams involving direct purchase of concert tickets or merchandise, which is kind of a must-have for passionate fans. And finally, there is a standout parental protection insurance. Well, this policy offers compensation to children for the child if their parents fall victim to voice phishing scams, meaning phone scams aimed at stealing money or personal information. So it's absolutely clear that insurance companies are getting creative, blending practicality with fun to appeal to a younger audience. And who knows, insurance for running late for work or Monday blues might be just around the corner.
And I don't know, Yoon, if you saw my face when you read those lists, but I would love to sign up for every single one of them, including the last one where you said the Monday blues.
Monday blues.
Monday blues. I would be happy to, give up my coffee time just to get a couple of minutes, to get those. Now, these are all super interesting. Kyun, please amuse us with more. Are there more of these?
Yeah, there are actually a couple more on top of what just Yoon mentioned. There are many leisure-related insurances, for example, like car camping and golf insurance. As many of you know, like in Korea during the pandemic, a lot of people started playing golf, many youngsters actually. And in Korea, because of the small land size, there aren't many golf courses. And so a lot of people obviously visit driving ranges. And even if they do go to a golf range, golf course, there are a lot of people there, a lot of golf players. And that obviously increases the risk of actually getting hit by a golf ball. And I haven't been hit by a golf ball yet, but I mean, it's going to be very painful. And it's actually killed a few people recently. It's been on the news. So that's why a lot of youngsters have actually put insurance money in golf as well. And not just golf, a lot of youngsters actually enjoy camping outdoors and they have their own caravans. And my friend recently told me that he was actually compensated quite a lot of money because his caravan actually broke down. And he's a big fan of camping. And I thought, hey, I mean, it just shows how much young people actually show interest in these different types of insurance plans. Not just like health insurance, but like golf, camping, and just everything that Chuyun mentioned as well.
And it's very interesting because you actually have example of your friends. So it really seems like the market is doing its research and know what caters to the younger generation. But in addition to the content of these new insurance plans, companies are also making a lot of effort in lowering the access hurdle for young people because typically insurance plans with its fine prints have a reputation of being too complicated and sometimes too convoluted when it comes to registering. And they have really tried to lower physical barriers by doing some very interesting events for young generation, right, Kyun?
Right. So recently there was like a famous insurance company in Korea that set up a pop-up store in Seoul with the concept of a healthcare center back in the Joseon dynasty. So the workers there were actually they were dressed up as like royal and female physicians, giving customers a unique experience of signing up for like an insurance plan. Like you said, for many youngsters it seems very complicated, but they put a twist to it, showing that it's not that complicated. It's not all about signing paperwork. So they would give them like step-by-step processes of how to actually sign up, make regular monthly payments, and how much you can get compensated. And I think this is a very good marketing strategy to especially youngsters who are not very familiar with these insurance plans compared to our parents' generation, because back then we'll just have we'll get a phone call or have a friend randomly just contact you saying, "So how are you, Cheska? How have you been?" "Oh, not too bad." "Do you have any insurance plans?" I recently got a new job. I'm working for this insurance company, and I just thought you might want to, sign up and for me, just for me,
Life is getting tough. Yeah, you can do a favor
for me. Show me some loyalty. But nowadays, it's been very different. So it's very entertaining and also like part of a dating course with these pop-up stores.
Exactly, because pop-up stores combine both entertainment, education, and even some interest of young people. What's more out there?
Well, there's many, many more. Collaborative products have also caught attention to the younger generation. A convenience store teamed up with an insurance company to release a personalized drink-type promotion. This blends fun with a focus on health at the same time. It's clear that insurance is no longer just a necessity. It's becoming an experience. Soon we might see insurance for a coffee order going wrong, just in case.
That's very important, actually. But this trend certainly highlights a few interesting things about our generation, in that the market is actually reacting to it. Chuyun, could you tell us a little bit about what the company's perspective might be?
Of course. Well, if you look at the company's perspective, these special insurance products might not bring a huge, big profits for them in a short term, right away. But there's a smart way. They are using a smart way to catch the eye of NZs. The aim is to create a positive impression and make insurance feel more approachable and relevant. And take mini insurance policy, for example. They have brought friendly with lower premiums and shorter terms, making them easy for people in their 20s to try, even if they don't have much knowledge or much experience about these kind of money management. This approach helps shake off the old image of insurance as complicated and hard to understand. You've got to sign thousands of documents in order to join it. It's a kind of a fresh and innovative way to bring insurance into the modern age and connect with the younger generation.
And Yoon, as you mentioned, you know, a social phenomenon always tells a story about modern culture. So I also think it reflects a lot about what our generation is going through. And now we've heard from both our panelists, so we'll turn to our viewers and find out what they had to say about today's topic. Now, we also asked them if they had some unique insurance plans in their country, and here are a collection of their responses. Now, Benny D97 said, in the Philippines, insurance companies don't offer anything unique. However, I would like to see one unique insurance product introduced, insurance for mental health conditions. Now, X_IIX_XCVII said, unfortunately, we don't. And for this, I would love to move to South Korea. Now, BuzzerBeater17 said, it's unique in a somewhat strange way, but I heard there's an alien abduction insurance that covers you if you're abducted by aliens. Now, a big shout out to BuzzerBeater. I don't know if you're watching, but we would love to learn more about it. Thank you to all our viewers for sharing their opinions. And now for more in-depth discussion and learn about this social phenomenon, we'll connect live with Min-jung Park, the business professor here in South Korea. Join us after the break.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Now, today we're joined by Business Administration Professor Min-jung Park from Kumo National Institute of Technology. Hello, Professor.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll begin with our first question. We want to understand the background a little bit here. What are some general attitudes and/or consumption patterns of young people, namely those in their 20s and 30s, when it comes to purchasing these insurance plans?
Yeah, these days, 2030s, we call the younger generation. Today emphasize practical and cost effectiveness when they choose insurance products. They are less interested in traditional whole life or long-term insurance, and also they prefer small and short-term plans that fit with their lifestyles nowadays. For example, products such as travel insurance or fund damage insurance or pet insurance, which cover with specific needs at certain times, are becoming very popular. And also these days, young people now see the importance of protecting their digital assets and personal information, which can be generated in online environment, because they are less interested in that areas because they could not be usually covered by insurance in the past. However, nowadays we call cyber risk insurance, which is launched in the recent. The young generation people have interest in that areas, because they perceive their digital assets and their personal information is very valuable, and they also perceive the digital threats is as just same as real dangers. So they want to cover some cover the financial losses if some things happen from a lot of digital threats such as ransomware attacks or data breaches. So they want to cover by insurances.
Okay, Professor Park. So today we have covered a wide range of very unique insurance plans, specifically targeting the younger generation. Do people actually purchase these coverage, these products, these plans? If so, then why?
Because today many unique insurance products, as you say, are available in the market, so more people want to buy that. The one main reason is that I think young people want to interested in new experiences and fun, even with their insurances. For them, insurance is just like not just a safety net. They consider it as a real interesting and exciting experience. So for example, activity insurance for their travel, and also they want to buy insurance for their game characters because it looks so interesting and fun. So these fun and unique products often make young people want to buy some new insurance a lot of these days. I think
Professor,
so. Yes.
Could you provide us with some smart tips on how young people can manage insurance plans?
Yes, there are a lot of some simple tips to young people to manage their insurance effectively. First, I think young people always should know that think about what they really need. It means they have to look at their lifestyles and also how the risks might face in the future. It means they don't need to buy every type of insurance, but they have to just choose what's most important for you. So they have to consider their age and their health status and decide what's the most important thing for you. And also their lifestyle is also considerable. For example, they travel a lot. Travel insurance can be helpful to them. And also they have a pet. Pet insurance very helpful to them. So, yeah.
I think reflecting lifestyle and making, as you mentioned, smart choices on insurance types would be very important for our generation. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.
And thank you.
Thank you. Now, to briefly end off today's discussion, I would like to ask each of you to expand our horizon a little bit and suggest a new type of insurance or security plans that our demographics might actually find quite interesting or even useful.
Yeah, of course. Well, I hope there will be this kind of insurance, sibling battle, sibling rivalry insurance, just in case of the sibling battles. You know, that sometimes it happens and there's so many minor injuries and, you know, there are sibling battles or what should I call it, a war between siblings or brothers especially. And, you know, it could offer a support for minor injuries or accidental damage to shared spaces, you know, and, or of course also the damaged toys and the furniture that I have in my house. So it might even include a small peace treaty fund to help restore harmony between, you know, in the family.
I love that. I love that one. What about you, Kyun?
Perhaps luxury goods. If you have a lot of luxury goods in your home, if you get any stains on it, scratches, or even if you lose it, if you get compensated for those luxury goods, that could be a good option.
And I love both of them. But Juyeon, you mentioned something before the rehearsal, which I want to share with the viewers. You did social media reputation insurance, which was your idea, which I thought was really amazing, with the advance of technology, cyberbullying, and portrait rights. That was something that you mentioned. Yeah, I think it's really important to have those coverages as well. Now, that's all from us today. Thank you all for joining us, and special thanks to Juyeon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And Kiwoo.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And thank you everyone for watching. NewsGen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korean time. We are News Generation.
AI, what are some dishes you should try in Korea?
Recommended food to eat in Korea are Korean barbecue, fried chicken, kimchi, kimbap, kukbap.
에이, 이걸로는 부족하지. 진짜 한국에선 어떻게 먹는지 알려줄까?
K 바비큐? 신김치랑 먹어야지.
치킨? 클래식한 치킨부터 한강뷰 치킨까지.